Hello there. Today I'm going to look at Torso, the Sergio Martino film from the early 70s starring Susie Kendall. Sergio Martino was an Italian director who started off as assistant director, cinematographer, and worked his way up to directing. He was basically a director for hire. He did a lot of films, a lot of exploitation films. I mean, some titles are The Strange Vice of Mrs. Warder, Case of the Scorpion's Tail, All the Colours of the Dark, Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. Those were the giallo stuff that he did. Then went on to sex films, cannibal films, sci-fi films. He was in the Italian, rip-off genre, basically. He was just dead. He did what was available to him. But it peaked basically with the kind of giallo rip-offs because Your Vice of the Locked Room is terrific. I mean, I think Torso's viewed as his best film, but I like Vice of the Locked Room is better for me. Because I think there's more interesting characters, the interactions are more interesting, the manipulations. It's a much more cohesive, nasty view of human relationships, in a way that's fascinating, in a way that's very nihilistic and horrible and very Italian. Italians did not care if you liked their characters. Italians had characters who were awful a lot of the time as the leads, which was really enjoyable. Spaghetti westerns, the giallo films, they didn't care if the character was likeable, as long as the story was interesting or the story had enough murders in it. But that's what I like about Italian films. They do not care if you like the lead characters. This one you kind of like the lead character. Susie Kendall plays it. She'd come off the Dario Argento film, Blood of Crystal Plumage. So she was like an American actress who could bend a Italian giallo and help sell it. So Torso came out and is viewed as one of the strongest of Martino's films and viewed as one of the better giallo films. I like this film a lot, but I don't think it's in the same level of the 70s Argento, at all. For a start, I got the killer straight away. I'm not particularly great at these films, spotting a killer, because I don't think giallos are structured fairly a lot of the time. I think a lot of the time it's we're going to actually leave out some of the basic construction of information you need to know who the killer is. We're going to tell you that information solely in the game that, anything that would actually point to the proper killer a lot of the time is cheated in giallos, so I don't feel it's like a murder mystery in that way, because it's all about the murders. It's all about the weird perversion of the killers. And a lot of the time the killing is personal and weird and twisted. You're always hoping for a Catholic priest to be the killer or something like that. You're always looking for some sort of satire on Italian life. Because a lot of Italians, they use spaghetti westerns and giallos as a way to comment on the way the world was. Vice of the Locked Room is these rich people in a poor area who were lording over to the poor with their parties and stuff, and it was just like the rich against the poor and just how Italian life had been utterly destroyed. And Fulci made the film about the Catholic priest killer and showing you how trapped they were all in by religion. There's a lot of satire in these films, a lot of social commentary in these films amongst the murders. Torso has a lot less of that. Torso is about students getting killed, and it's just as soon as a killer turned up, I knew it was that person. It was so obvious who it was. But I'm not sure if everything's obvious. It's just me. I'm just yeah, I know that character. That's the killer. That's it. It's kind of just to me. It was so obvious who it was straight away. Which doesn't mean it's a bad film. What it means is it's an enjoyable film, but I knew it was going pretty quick. And like a lot of Italian films, a lot of the Italian characters are horrible. There's lots of... They'll try to do red herrings, but the red herrings are basically, look how horrible these people are. Look how selfish they are. And there's lots of sequences of people getting chased through swamps, through the streets, that are wonderful, because you kind of want to see the people die. Because they are kind of horrible. And you're looking for a good kill, and it's And the film knows that. The film knows it, and it actually delivers some fun kills. And like also, when the film goes into the countryside later on, it shows the students being scumbags, being nasty to the locals, and the locals not liking them much, and it's just so misanthropic a lot of the time. But you're also meant to like Susie Kendall as the more humane immigrant who's coming from America as a student, and she's a nice one compared to everyone else. And the film does have an enjoyable finale where she's getting like hunted down by the killer, and there's lots of things that are getting away. There's lots of circumstances that have turned around on her, so that getting out of this alive is going to be difficult for her. And it's a really good suspense sequence. But it's been raved about for so long that we see it as like, this is not the be and end all of a jolly ending. You know, it's not. It's just really well made. It's like an extension of what like, the Hitchcock stuff was doing with the suspense sequences. It's like, okay, let's do it longer and more stretched out. But for me, it's not really as impactful as some of the ending stuff of like gentle films like Deep Red or Tenebrae later on, or even Opera, where they were much more enthusiastic and expressionistic and just more interesting. This one is like, this is a setup, and it's like, but if you watch a Brian De Palma film at any point in the 80s, 70s or 80s, you're going to see a much better ending for suspense. This one's good, it's just not, there's just so much more that came out afterwards that was better. It's just enjoyable though. The whole film's enjoyable. It's well shot. The murders are really fun. The character, despite being nasty a lot of the time, because you've got a bunch of squabbling students, and a lot of them are trying to be posers to show their skill levels and what they're about, and you've a lot of red herrings. It turns out that just some people are just posers, and it's a lot of fun because they're just awful people with no defence. And then if these red herrings get killed, it doesn't matter. It's enjoyable to see them die because they're total scumbags. I mean, this film actually does feel like it. I mean, The Bay of Blood is probably the better version of this film in a way because it's full on Mario Bava doing that. It's like they're all scumbags, they're all killing each other. But this one feels much closer to the Friday the 13th, as we come under the big Jason the Killer. Whereas one killer killing off all these students, all these young people, and they're all terrible and you want to see them die. Much more than Bay of Blood. Bay of Blood is actually a lot of people from different age groups getting killed. This one feels much more like a template for a slasher film. It feels much more like Halloween than Friday the 13th even. Because it's much more about the suspense rather than killing everybody. But it feels like a template that they took Halloween and making young people getting killed. But you're feeling that the nastiness came from something like this or Bay of Blood. Everything's in the pot. But this feels much closer to what Friday the 13th was. But I'd much rather watch this than Friday the 13th. Or any of the sequels. Because it's better made. And it has a sense of humour about how nasty these people are. And it does come from a period in Italian history where there was a lot of social disconnection between the generations. And there's terrorism going on in the streets. And there was lots of stuff going on. This film's kind of commenting on the kind of rich, pampered people and how annoying they were to the poor. There's just more going on you can actually enjoy watching amidst this melodramatic slasher movie. So, I don't have much more to say about Torso. I just wanted to bring it up as a film that you should watch. It's really enjoyable. There's not much depth to it. It's not as good as some people who rave about it is, but it is very good. So, enjoy this, and I'll be back soon for another video. Right, bye for now.